Beloved, there are unseen forces that shape every coin in your pocket, every opportunity that knocks upon your door, and every flow of provision that comes into your life. Many people chase money with restless effort, yet still feel empty-handed, while others seem to walk with ease and abundance follows them like a shadow. Why is this so? Because money is not ruled by chance. It is ruled by divine law. You may think you control money with work alone, but in truth, money obeys laws greater than any man-made system. Just as the sun rises by law and the ocean tides obey their rhythm, so does your wealth respond to the invisible principles of spirit. And when you understand these laws, when you no longer wrestle against them, but move in harmony with them, you unlock doors no one can shut, and money begins to move toward you, effortlessly, faithfully, and abundantly. Tonight, I will share with you 7 divine laws that govern your money. If you open your heart and truly listen, these words will not merely inform you, they will transform you. For when truth enters, lack must depart, and when light shines, shadows of fear and struggle disappear. Stay with me until the end, for what you are about to hear has the power to break cycles of limitation and awaken you to a new flow of provision. These laws are eternal, unchanging, and they are waiting for you to align with them. Listen closely, for within these truths lies the secret to living a life where money no longer masters you, but serves you as the faithful instrument of your divine destiny. Belief is the foundation upon which every fortune is built. You may think it is hard work, connections, or education that makes the difference, but the truth is that nothing is greater than the belief that rules your mind. Belief is the silent architect of your destiny. What you believe about money, consciously or unconsciously, becomes the law of your experience. If you believe you are destined to struggle, life will mirror back to you endless struggles. If you believe wealth is always just out of reach, then you will forever walk in circles, chasing shadows. But if you believe with all your heart that you are divinely supplied, that abundance is your birthright, and that money is a faithful servant ready to obey the voice of your faith, then the universe itself will rearrange to honor that belief. You see, belief is not simply an idea floating in the mind. It is a magnetic force. It is the unseen current that draws experiences into your life. Whatever you hold in unwavering conviction becomes your reality. 2 people may face the same world, yet one sees doors of opportunity everywhere, while the other sees only walls. The difference is not the world around them. It is the belief within them. Belief colors the lens through which you see life, and through that lens, you either see abundance or lack, freedom or limitation, supply or struggle. When you begin to examine your own beliefs, you will discover why money has treated you the way it has. If you secretly believe money is evil, it will run from you. If you believe it is hard to come by, it will become scarce. If you believe you are unworthy of wealth, it will find ways to bypass your hands. Yet if you change your beliefs, if you choose to believe that money is good when used for good, that supply is endless, that you are worthy because you are a child of the infinite, then money will flow to you in ever-increasing measure. Consider the farmer who plants seeds. He does not doubt that the soil will return a harvest. He believes in the law of growth. Because of his belief, he sows with confidence, waters with patience, and waits with expectation. Your financial life works in the same way. Your belief is the seed, your words are the water, and your expectation is the sunlight. If your belief is strong, your harvest cannot fail. But if your belief is weak, your field will remain barren no matter how much labor you give. This is why many people toil endlessly, yet see little return. They work with their hands but doubt with their hearts. They take actions outwardly, but inwardly they sabotage themselves with fear, worry, and disbelief. You cannot expect a rich harvest if you plant seeds of doubt. Life responds to faith, not to fear. Faith is the substance of abundance. Fear is the shadow of lack. When your belief is set in faith, money cannot help but move toward you, for it is drawn by the certainty you carry. You may wonder, how can I strengthen my belief? The answer is simple, but powerful. You must renew your mind daily. Replace every thought of limitation with a thought of abundance. When the whisper of fear says, "There is not enough," answer it with, "There is more than enough." When the voice of doubt says, "You cannot succeed," declare boldly, "I am destined to prosper." Every time you choose belief over fear, you lay another stone in the foundation of your financial freedom. Over time, this foundation becomes unshakable, and money begins to flow to you in ways you could not have planned or imagined. Do not underestimate the power of a single belief. A person who believes deeply in their success can turn a small opportunity into a fortune, while one who doubts themselves can waste 1,000 chances. Belief determines not only what you attract, but also what you recognize when it arrives. Opportunities often knock quietly, but belief sharpens your ears to hear them. Without belief, you may miss the very answer to your prayer standing right before you. With belief, you will see doors where others see walls, and pathways where others see dead ends. There is a divine order in the universe that responds to belief as surely as a seed responds to the sun. When you believe in lack, you call it forth. When you believe in wealth, you invite it in. Life cannot help but reflect the conviction you carry. This is why the wisest people guard their beliefs with more care than their possessions. For possessions can be lost and gained again, but belief is the fountain from which possessions flow. Change the fountain, and the flow will change. Think of the countless stories of those who rose from nothing to abundance. What separated them was not chance nor inheritance, but a deep, unshakable belief that they were meant for more. They believed in spite of circumstances, in spite of obstacles, in spite of every voice that said it could not be done. Their belief carried them when strength failed, opened doors when resources were gone, and created wealth where none seemed possible. That same belief is available to you now, if only you will claim it. Belief is not a fleeting hope, it is a settled knowing. It is the quiet assurance that no matter what you see in the natural, supply is moving toward you in the unseen. It is the refusal to waver when appearances scream lack. It is the determination to hold firm until the invisible becomes visible. With such belief, you stand in harmony with the divine law that governs money, and nothing can keep your good from reaching you. So I say to you, examine your beliefs this very day. Ask yourself, do I believe in abundance or in lack? Do I believe money is my servant or my master? Do I believe I am worthy to prosper, or do I secretly hold myself unworthy? For the answers to these questions will show you the source of your financial condition. Change your beliefs, and you will change your life. When you plant the belief that you are divinely supplied, that wealth is your inheritance, and that money flows easily and freely into your hands for the highest good, you awaken a power greater than effort. You set into motion the law that cannot fail. And as surely as day follows night, your outer world will begin to reflect the inner world you have chosen to believe. That is the power of belief. It is the invisible hand that shapes your financial destiny. Words are not idle sounds drifting into the air. They are living seeds planted into the soil of the universe. Every word carries weight, vibration, and power, shaping the very substance of your life. When you speak about your money, your provision, your future, you are not merely commenting on circumstances, you are writing the script of tomorrow. The spoken word is law, and money obeys the law written upon it. If you say often enough, "I never have enough," then life will echo back those words with situations that prove you right. If you declare, "Everything I touch prospers," then invisible forces begin moving to align your reality with that declaration. The tongue is far more powerful than most imagine. It is the rudder that steers the entire ship of your finances. No matter how strong the wind or how rough the waves, the rudder determines direction. Likewise, no matter how challenging the economy or how uncertain the times, your words set the course for your financial life. Too many people sink their own ships by speaking words of doubt, fear, and lack. They curse their finances every time they complain about bills, every time they say they are broke, every time they affirm lack instead of declaring supply. Then they wonder why life seems to withhold from them. But life is not withholding. It is only reflecting back the seeds they have sown with their tongue. Understand this truth. Your words are creative commands. They are not mere sounds but decrees that summon forces into action. When you speak in faith, you summon abundance. When you speak in fear, you summon lack. The universe takes your word as law and begins arranging circumstances to fulfill it. That is why it is so vital to guard your tongue. Every time you open your mouth, you either open the door to increase or you shut it. Every sentence carries within it the power of life or death, blessing or curse, wealth or poverty. Think for a moment of how often people speak carelessly about money. They say, "I can't afford that." They say, "Money doesn't grow on trees." They say, "It's always a struggle." These phrases seem harmless, yet each one is a declaration of limitation. Each one is a command to the unseen forces of life to keep wealth at a distance. When such words are repeated again and again, they sink deep into the subconscious, creating a pattern that life must follow. But when you turn your words around, when you begin to speak life over your finances, everything begins to shift. Declare, "I can afford all that I need." Say, "Money flows freely to me from every direction." Proclaim, "I live in ease and abundance." These words plant new seeds, and those seeds cannot fail to grow when spoken with conviction. Your words are not only heard by others, they are heard most powerfully by yourself. Every time you speak, your subconscious mind listens and takes note. If you tell yourself daily that you are always in debt, your subconscious accepts it as truth and directs your actions and experiences to keep you there. But if you tell yourself daily that you are rich in supply, that doors of opportunity open before you, and that wealth flows continuously into your life. Your subconscious begins working like a faithful servant to bring it about. It influences your choices, heightens your awareness of opportunities, and magnetizes circumstances that align with the words you have spoken. Think of the child who is told he is bright and capable. He grows into that identity because of the words spoken over him. In the same way, your finances grow into the identity you give them through your words. Speak to your money as though it hears you, for in a very real sense it does. Call it faithful, call it plentiful. Call it a blessing, and it will rise to meet the description you have given it. But call it scarce, call it troublesome, call it fleeting, and it will mirror that label in your experience. This is why gratitude spoken aloud is so powerful. When you say, "Thank you for the money I have, thank you for the money that is on its way, thank you for the overflowing supply that surrounds me," you multiply what you already possess. Gratitude is not only a feeling, it is a spoken recognition that amplifies abundance. The more you give thanks with your words, the more reasons life gives you to be thankful. Gratitude turns little into much, lack into plenty, and fear into faith. There is also a hidden danger in jesting about lack. Many people joke about being broke, laugh about poverty, or playfully curse their finances. They think words spoken in jest carry no power. But the universe does not hear the laughter. It hears only the command. Words spoken in mockery still carry creative force, and the soil of life does not distinguish between serious planting and playful planting. Every seed grows. Therefore, even in jest, never speak against your supply. Instead, cultivate the habit of speaking blessings over every area of your financial life. When you pay a bill, say aloud, "I am thankful for the supply that covers this easily." When you see something you desire, instead of saying, "I can't afford it," declare, "It is mine in divine timing." When challenges arise, speak words of faith. "This too shall prosper me." Something greater is unfolding. In every circumstance, choose words that affirm abundance, not words that affirm fear. Do not be discouraged if change does not appear overnight. Words like seeds require time to take root, sprout, and bear fruit. If you have been planting weeds of lack for years, it will take persistent planting of new words to see the harvest change. But do not waver, for the harvest must come. Speak life, speak wealth, speak faith, and keep speaking until your outer world reflects your inner declaration. Your words are not small. They are the instruments by which you command your destiny. The power of the spoken word is a divine gift, and when you use it wisely, you hold the key to limitless abundance. Guard your tongue as you would guard a treasure. for it is the key that unlocks the vault of your financial future. That is the power of the spoken word. It directs your money, commands your supply, and writes the script of your abundance. Money, like the breath you breathe, is not meant to be held tightly, but to move in and out, to flow and circulate in divine rhythm. Just as you inhale and exhale without fear of running out of air, so should you allow money to come and go with ease. The moment you clutch and cling to it, you choke the very flow you desire. The law is simple: giving opens the channel for receiving, withholding closes it. Many struggle with this truth because fear convinces them that if they release what they have, nothing will return. Yet it is not the keeping, but the giving that multiplies supply. For what you release in faith always comes back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Consider the river that flows freely. Its waters remain fresh and abundant because they move without resistance. Now think of the pond that hoards its water, refusing to let it flow onward. It becomes stagnant, stale, lifeless. Money obeys the same principle. When it circulates through generosity, kindness, and trust, it remains vibrant and plentiful in your life. But when it is hoarded in fear, it loses its life-giving energy and seems to slip away in unexpected ways. The one who gives with joy is always surprised by the avenues through which supply returns, while the one who withholds often faces loss through circumstances beyond their control. The act of giving is not measured by the size of the gift, but by the spirit in which it is given. A coin released with love and faith carries more power than a fortune given grudgingly. When you give with a heart of freedom, you affirm to the universe, "I live in abundance. I have more than enough to share." That affirmation itself sets in motion a current of increase. Giving is not loss. It is planting. Just as a farmer does not grieve when he releases his seed into the ground, knowing it will return multiplied, so must you release your money with expectation that it will return in greater form. So many people hold back their hand because they see only what leaves, not what is on its way. They believe their gift diminishes them, yet in reality, it enlarges them. Giving clears away fear and affirms faith. It places you in alignment with the law of circulation, and the law cannot fail. When you give, you prove to yourself and to life that you trust the infinite source, not just the visible channels. That trust itself becomes the magnet for multiplied blessings. There are those who give and then quickly look around for the return, asking, "Where is my harvest? Where is my increase?" But true giving is free from anxious expectation. It is an act of faith, not a bargain. The return will come, but it comes in divine timing and often through channels you least expect. Sometimes it returns as financial increase, sometimes as new opportunities, sometimes as protection from loss, sometimes as a door opening where one seemed shut. The form may differ, but the law of return is sure. Nothing given in faith is ever lost. Think of the countless lives transformed by a simple act of generosity. A meal shared with someone hungry may open the door to a friendship that changes your destiny. A gift offered to a struggling soul may lift them into a place where they later bless you beyond measure. You never know how your giving will ripple through the fabric of life, but you can be certain that every ripple finds its way back to you in multiplied form. Even in times when you feel you have little, there is always something to give. It may be money, or it may be time, encouragement, kindness, or support. The spirit of giving itself is what activates the law of receiving. If you wait until you believe you have more than enough, you may wait forever, for fear will always whisper that you must hold on to just a little more. But when you give from where you are, even if it seems small, you declared a life that you trust the abundance of the source. That trust is what multiplies what you have. Do not let the thought of loss bind you. Every tree that bears fruit sheds part of itself to feed others, yet by doing so, it becomes stronger, healthier, and more fruitful. In the same way, when you release part of what you have, you are not lessened, you are enriched. The energy of generosity keeps your life fresh, alive, and expanding. The miser who clings to every coin grows wary, suspicious, and fearful. But the generous soul walks in peace, knowing supply is endless and always returns. There is a reason that prosperity follows those who live with open hands. Their giving creates a rhythm of trust, a circulation that cannot be interrupted. The universe loves a cheerful giver because cheerful giving proves faith in the unseen. It shows that one does not rely on the limited visible, but on the unlimited invisible. And the invisible is always greater than the visible. When you give freely, you acknowledge that you are part of a larger flow, and that flow never runs dry. Some believe that giving is a duty, a burden, something they must do reluctantly. But giving is not a law of compulsion, it is a law of freedom. You are not forced to give, you are invited to give. And when you accept that invitation, you participate in the great cycle of abundance that governs all life. It is a choice, a privilege, and a key to living in prosperity. If you ever doubt this law, look to nature. The sun gives its light without asking for payment, and life on earth flourishes. The clouds give their rain, and fields grow rich with harvest. The earth gives its fruits, and generations are fed. Nothing in nature hoards, yet nothing in nature lacks. So it is with money. When it is given in alignment with divine order, it returns in overflow. The key is to give with joy, not compulsion, with faith, not fear, with love, not obligation. When you release your money with these qualities, it carries a fragrance that attracts blessing back to you. What you give in bitterness brings little return, but what you give in love multiplies beyond measure. So, I tell you this truth, money is not meant to stagnate in your hands. It is meant to move, to bless, to circulate, to flow. And as surely as you release it with joy, it will return to you multiplied, in perfect time and in perfect form. That is the law of giving and receiving. It is eternal, unchanging, and it cannot fail. Expectation is the quiet force that shapes the flow of your money. It is not enough to merely hope for abundance, nor to wish that something good might happen one day. Hope leaves the door open, but expectation walks through it. Expectation is faith in action, the confident knowing that supply is already on its way, even when your eyes see no sign of it yet. You do not attract what you casually desire, you attract what you deeply and unwaveringly expect. Consider two people standing at the same door of opportunity. One hopes it will open, the other expects it to. The one who hopes waits hesitantly, fearing disappointment. The one who expects reaches forward boldly, certain that the door was meant for them. And it is always the expectant heart that sees the door swing wide. For life is not moved by weak wishes but by strong expectation. Expectation magnetizes circumstances, opportunities, and resources. It sends a signal to the unseen realm that you are ready to receive, and the law responds accordingly. Many wonder why they pray, affirm, and declare, yet see little change in their financial life. The answer often lies in expectation. They speak words of abundance, but inwardly they expect lack. They affirm wealth, but secretly brace themselves for bills and burdens. Their outward words and inward expectation are divided, and a divided mind cannot draw forth abundance. When your expectation and your words align, when you not only speak supply, but also expect it with every fiber of your being, then you set into motion a law that cannot fail. Expectation is not daydreaming, it is a settled confidence. It is walking through life as though the blessing you asked for has already been delivered. It is carrying yourself with the assurance of one who knows the outcome is secure. Imagine planting a seed in the earth. You do not walk away hoping it might grow. You expect it to grow, and so you water it, tend it, and wait with patience. Your expectation makes you act as though the harvest is already certain. The same is true with money and provision. If you expect increase, you act in harmony with increase. If you expect lack, you act in harmony with lack, and life mirrors the action that springs from your expectation. Look closely at your own heart. What do you truly expect each day? Do you wake expecting surprise blessings, expecting doors to open, expecting money to come in unexpected ways? Or do you rise expecting struggle, expecting disappointment, expecting only more of what you already see? Your answer reveals the pattern of your financial life, for expectation is the prophecy of your future. To change your tomorrow, you must change what you expect today. Expectation is a form of faith that cannot be shaken by appearances. It does not ask, "Where is the money?" It declares, the money is on its way. It does not tremble at the sight of empty pockets. It knows that supply is already moving through unseen channels, soon to arrive in perfect form. Expectation is blind to appearances, but sharp to truth. It ignores the temporary shadow of lack and fixes its gaze on the eternal promise of abundance. When you begin to cultivate expectation, something remarkable happens within you. Fear begins to lose its grip. Anxiety loosens. Instead of dreading the mail that brings bills, you expect unexpected checks. Instead of fearing tomorrow, you expect tomorrow to bring you good. Instead of worrying over how it will come, you expect that it will come, and in that expectation lies your peace. This peace itself becomes a magnet, for calm confidence attracts what worry repels. Do not confuse expectation with desperation. Desperation grasps and clings, demanding results from fear of going without. Expectation rests and trusts, knowing supply is already secured. One is rooted in panic, the other in faith. When you expect good, you do not need to strain to make it happen by your own might. You simply align your thoughts, your words, and your actions with that expectation, and the law of supply fulfills itself. Think of the stories of those who seem to draw wealth to themselves effortlessly. Often, it was not effort alone, but expectation that made the difference. They expected success, so they carried themselves with confidence. They expected opportunity, so they were quick to recognize it. They expected wealth, so they acted boldly and received it. Expectation prepared them inwardly for what was waiting outwardly. Without expectation, opportunities pass unseen, blessings remain unopened, and wealth waits at the door with no invitation. Your expectation must not be small. Life does not give you what you think you can scrape by with. It gives you what you are willing to expect. If you expect little, you receive little. If you expect much, you receive much. A small cup can hold only a small portion, while a large vessel can receive abundance. Expectation enlarges your vessel so you can contain greater blessing. Never lower your expectation to match your circumstances. Instead, raise your expectation to match divine possibility. Expectation also requires consistency. A gardener does not expect harvest one day and doubt it the next, for such wavering would keep the soil barren. In the same way, you cannot expect wealth in the morning and fear lack by evening. Expectation must be steady, unwavering, unbroken by appearances. Hold fast to it even when evidence seems against you, for it is often at the moment of greatest testing that the breakthrough is nearest. This is why gratitude pairs so beautifully with expectation. When you give thanks for blessings before they appear, you demonstrate that you already expect them. Gratitude affirms your faith and accelerates the arrival of what you are expecting. Say often, I give thanks for the supply that is flowing to me now. I give thanks for the money that is already on its way. I give thanks for the opportunities unfolding before me. Such words align your mind with expectation, and expectation draws your harvest closer. So let your life be marked by bold, joyful expectation. Expect money to find you in surprising ways. Expect debts to dissolve and resources to multiply. Expect doors to open where none existed before. Expect your hands to prosper in everything you do. Live not as one waiting to see if it will happen, but as one who knows it already has happened in the unseen and is only waiting to manifest. Walk, speak, and act as though the abundance is certain, for in truth it is. That is the power of expectation. It determines your supply and shapes the wealth that flows into your life.